Yo, what's going on? Um, I'm tired of trying. I'm tired of trying. Just applies to, you know, every time I wake up, I try, I try. I try to be a better version of myself. I pray, try talking to God or. And regardless if you pray or whoever you believe in and stuff, you get tired of trying. I'm tired of trying. Because at the end of the day, a lot of us use trying as an excuse. We say, "Oh, I'm trying to live in your light. Oh, I'm trying to do better." But if we was trying, we would be applying. And you really gotta give that some thought because if we really wanted to do the things that we said we wanted to do, we would move upon it. Or we'd make steps to get close to wherever we're going. But we've used I'm trying to such an extent that it's become an excuse. And I'll tell you where I'm coming from. I'll tell you where I'm coming from. Alright. Today I woke up, right? And man, I felt like completely alone in the simple fact. And it's like in the simple fact, like I'm like, man, if I'm trying to walk with God, how many times am I gonna keep giving him excuses and say I'm trying? How many times am I gonna sit up here and say, I'm trying to be a good person. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. Da 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 da. But I never move on it. I never move on it. You know, or I'm trying. It just becomes the bare minimum. Okay, I'm waking up and I'm praying for my food. But then I'm saying I'm trying to be a good person. But I'm doing the bare minimum. And I feel like that's become the brand new norm because it's easy because whoever you believe in or whatever, because it's easy to say I'm trying and I'm different compared to the other people that's living in worldly ways or however they're living. It's easy to say, okay, well, I'm trying to live in God's image. I don't want to be like them though. I'm better than them because they're doing whatever. They're doing all that type of stuff. But I feel like the worst person you can be is a person who thinks that they're better than someone else. Not better than someone else, but better than the people who are living in worldly ways. Because when you really think about it, when you really think about it, it's a terrible way to think because you think you're so different, you think you're exempt from them, but all you did was give the excuse. You're saying I'm trying, but you don't make the steps. You don't put in the effort to to at least better yourself or anything like that. Or it's just a meager attempt and you just leave it as is because you're complacent with that. You're happy with that. At least you got the excuse of saying you're trying. And you're looking at other people and saying, "Oh, well, they're living in this worldly way." The only difference between the two is that they're not using an excuse. They might be doing whatever they're doing with no shame, with whatever, but they're not being a hypocrite, which I have this huge problem with too, because until today, I was like, man, because I know people who, do the whole nine, smoke, drink, whatever. And it's like, if I was really trying, I would remove the temptation from the root. I would remove the problems from the root. If I really wanted to do better, I would remove the units that's making my life hard in the first place. If I really was trying, I would be making the necessary steps to get wherever I'm trying to go. But we don't do that. We entertain the us who say we're trying. We entertain the people that's lusting, lying, deceitful, all a whole bunch of other stuff. We entertain these people and we keep them around. But then we use the excuse of saying, "Oh, well, I'm trying to be a better person. Oh, I'm trying to live in God's image." If we really were, we would have cut these from the root. And I feel like it's different ways you can look at this, because church, like for example, the people that go to church, I'm gonna tell you why I thought I was different from them, because it's honest. I didn't grow up in a church household, and it wasn't until I started hanging around my aunties where they start praising God and stuff like that. And I mean, hey, he's Almighty. He's great. I'm grateful every day, 100%. But I seen people in the church, and I seen peers in the church, both elderly and peers. The adults and their kids or whatever. And yes, they're praise be, they're this, and that. They're praising. Yes, up dancing and all that type of stuff. But then outside of church, it's a complete different story. It's a complete different story. And it contradicts everything it contradicts the way they represent themselves there, which is why I fell back from the idea of church, mainly because, for example, when I started talking to girls at the church and stuff like that, as in like dating wise, I like you automatically come in and you're assuming holiness. You're assuming, you're assuming positive. But church girls have a speculation, and it's not based off all lies. I wouldn't say this is most definitely not all people. No, that's subjective. That's no. But like, I would talk to my peers, I would talk to the guys and the girls at church, and when you look at the way that their mindset is, it's like, yeah, okay. You want to be, Christian. You want to be, you know, you praise however you praise, right? And you claim Christianity. Okay. Okay. I'm not going to question it, all right? You believe what you believe, and you say you standing on it. But then outside of church, like I said, when I was dating these girls, outside of church, it was a completely different story. Outside of church, ready to pop out, ready to let themselves go. And at a young age, I'm looking at it and it's like, that's, it's fraudulent. It's fraudulent. And I'm not just saying this for like the peers, I'm saying this is for adults too. People go to church, and yes, but church isn't just a Sunday thing. Church is a mental thing. Church is in your mind. That's a lifestyle. The way that the Bible presents itself, it's a lifestyle. It's supposed to be like, look at the rules in the Bible. It sounds morally sound. It sounds like something, if you see something, automatically you're assuming good when you think of church. So it's supposed to be like a lifestyle that you're living, not just a Sunday event where you think you can just go get cleansed. And I don't mean to sound, all rude and stuff, but it's like, we get so complacent with say, oh, we're trying to be good. But we don't even put in the effort where it really matters. My apologies. We don't really put in the effort where it really matters. And then we want the excuse to say, oh, well, I'm trying and stuff like that. I will give y'all this little story time. I was talking to this girl once. And I met her at church. It was a nice little event. And we went to church. I met her there. She asked me out. I'm like, oh, snap. This is cool. I met her mom and everything. She was very nice, very, and I like to present myself as a, respectful, calm, collected guy. And met her mom and everything. It was very nice, very wholesome. But I get outside of church, and it's a complete different thing. My friends have legit like a rap sheet of what's of her. They know her. She's known. And it's like, and I'm like, no, that can't be her. No, this same girl that I met at church, that can't be her. That can't be this and that. But then that same girl is the same one who is the same one, the activities. Is the same one I caught doing, ungodly stuff, man. is the same. It's when you think of church, you automatically think of holiness. But and I feel like as a young age, it's hard to find compassion because it's like that's why I felt so alone. Because it's like I'm talking to someone now, but it's like, man, when you really choose to walk, when you really choose to walk, because if you really walking, then you gotta actually like apply the stuff that you're learning. You actually gotta live by what you say, or unless you're just, I was a hypocrite. I sat up here and said, oh well, I'm not like them. I'm not, I don't claim church and then go out here and do all this other stuff as soon as I get out. Cause man, that really be the pastor kids sometimes, man. And it's a sad thing. Cause see someone's parent or parental figure dedicate themselves to the church, and it's usually those ones, man. It's usually those ones because everybody feels like getting a taste of freedom. As soon as freedom is given, we just go buck wild and we associate fun with freedom, letting ourselves go, letting so much stuff happen to us, doing so much stuff. We associate freedom and fun, but really it's just neglect. You're neglecting yourself, your reputation, the people who raised you. You're neglecting everything in you because you want to taste the freedom. And no lie, I understand. Cause being a church kid, oh, I know that stuff has got to be hard. It's got to be hard. But when I saw myself, cause I kept away from church. I keep away from churches because for the fact I don't judge you just because you go off church. I'm trying to judge you off your character rather than saying, okay, you go to church. That's like going to a pristine school and you automatically think that that person is smart just to find out that person cheated on every single test and they're legit like not even supposed to be there. Like, and it's like there's a certain expectation when you think of church, but church is a mindset. It's a lifestyle. It's something you wake up and uphold every day. So when I seen these people doing all this type of stuff, and I said, oh whoa whoa, I'm not like them. But I made the excuse. I can't say I'm walking in his light. I can't say I'm trying. I'm trying, but I'm doing nothing. I'm moving without motion. I'm going nowhere. I'm staying stagnant. And I feel like because after that girl did what she did, I did a lot of soul searching, trying to find deep within. Because I always try to look for what was better in people and stuff like that. But sometimes what somebody told me was what my uncle told me. He said when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Because some people use religion as a cover up. Because when you think of religion, you automatically think of, okay, this person is bound by their beliefs. Some people don't even hold on to their beliefs. Some people neglect themselves just to, some people just claim that, and that's why another topic is like why a lot of what I've heard from my elderly. I'm not gonna say this is. I like to listen to the people in my life, the elderly, the young, whatever. They say you find a lot of aunties in church because after all the wrongdoings and all that type of stuff, and after living life and being free, which we associate being young as in being free, and like I said, it's neglect. Being free doesn't mean you have to let yourself go. Being free doesn't mean you don't move in a respectful way. That's not doing moving respectfully and moving with modesty and moving in an honorable way does isn't not fun. What I'm trying to say is like treating yourself with care is is not the opposite of fun. Is what I'm trying to say. It's not the opposite of fun. You can have fun and still move with discernment. You can have fun and still move with respect. You can have fun and still hold yourself to a high regard, man. But we associate with young youth. You gotta be wild. You gotta be free. You gotta be out there, man. And that's the problem, man. That's why it's like kind of hard. And like I told my friends, I was like, it would be easier. It would be easier to let it all go. It'd be so easy. It'd be so easy. And sometimes I wish I could. But then I know the only reason why I know God is because I'm supposed to be following him, man. Like, so it's like, I don't get, I have the burden of knowing. Basically what I'm saying. Because people who don't know, shoot, they live in, they doing whatever they doing. Probably in pure bliss. Ignorance is bliss, said Kendrick Lamar. Probably a sheer bliss. Probably having such a good time. Because it's not really something you gotta think about when you're living in pleasures and desires. But when you choose to walk and actually choose to like try to apply all the messages and try to walk in a certain way, it automatically just becomes 10 times harder. You're automatically set apart from others. And it's lonely. It's lonely because sometimes the best action to love is to walk away. I can't say I love you and I'm watching you drown yourself in whatever you're going through and tolerate it. I can't. I can try to, you can lead a horse to water. You can't make him drink it. That was the thing with me. I don't believe in church, but I believe in God. And I want to uphold his beliefs and I want to be a representative. I want to represent. I want to, but that's something that takes effort. That's something that takes day to day. That's not just a Saturday Sunday service and then you think everything's good, dude. Like if you're like, you know, you y'all know what I'm saying, man. Y'all know what I'm saying. It was just sad to think about because it's like trying to find compassion is like trying to find love and compassion, especially when you think on a like on a different level, because automatically you are automatically placed differently, automatically, and you can tell because when you say, okay, I'm not gonna do all this type of stuff, I'm gonna move this type of way, and you see all these people, they're doing it blissful, but you're automatically placed in a whole different category, and you're looking at them, and you're like, nobody is over here with me, or maybe a couple, but it's few. And it's well, right now I feel like nobody's over here with me because it's like the people I interact with, I love them to death, man. I love them to death. And it's like, man. And that's why with me personally, I have like a problem with like I make my own problems most of the time. Whether that be relationships, because sometimes, like I said, you will see the signs, you just choose to ignore them. And when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Man, that's why like I kind of developed like this negative mentality thinking about church because it was like, dog, the people I meet in church, they sound so good on paper. So good on paper. Your mom, your dad, whoever, you church bound. You get out, who are you outside these walls is what really matters. Not who you're here when everybody's watching. It's about when the lights turn off. Who are you really? Are you that same innocent church girl, church boy? Are you that same? Are you that same respectful young man, young woman? Are you that same person? That's what really matters. That's what really matters. Because when I looked at my friends and they going to church, or whoever I know, they going to church, and I see them moving in such a bizarre way. Like, man, you were just praising. Now you out here, you out here, you know, you out here doing this. I don't even go to church. You don't see me doing none of that. I still believe in God, and I'm still trying to move around this way. That's why I said I contradict myself, and I forgot what it's called. A person that's I contradict myself. I contradict myself all the time, man, and I can't sit up here and say, okay, I'm better than these people, or hey, at least I'm not doing what they're doing. But in reality, I'm doing the exact same, just with an excuse. They don't have one because they don't care. I'm doing the exact same with an excuse. Oh, I'm doing this and that, but I'm trying though. Like, no, because if you were trying, you would be cutting. You would be cutting whatever is holding you back from the root. Whether that be relationship, friendships, drugs, fornication, whatever you got going on. If you were really trying, you would cut it off from the root and try to work on yourself. And like I said, it's hard to find a relationship. And it's hard to find good companionship because it's like especially in the church. Because when you like, my experience with church girls is like, okay, I'm talking to you. You go to church. Your whole family knows church. Okay, I'm automatically assuming the best. But then you crave social media attention. You're posting seductive pictures. You're like, very promiscuous. Like, you're promiscuous, is what I'm saying. That's who you are at church. This is who you are at home and outside of church. So, what really matters? That one day of service or your lifestyle? Because church is a lifestyle. Church is a lifestyle. I wake up every day and I pray to the God that I get to wake up another morning. It's a blessing. Just to look up to the sky, man, and an asteroid didn't hit us yet. And with every mistake, I'm looking for a lesson. Or with every mistake I make, I'm praying for forgiveness and I'm trying to move differently. Trying. But in order to try, you have to change. In order to try, you have to move. You have to adjust. You have to manage. You have to remove the things that's holding you back. That's what makes it so hard. Because we think we're different, but really we're the same. The exact same. Just different wording. You do whatever you want. You live worldly. I'm claiming to try, but I'm also still living worldly. That's why you gotta be the third. You gotta move and do what you say. You gotta move in the way you want to. Man, I just woke up and I was like so lonely, bro. And it's crazy because like I'm talking to someone and oh my goodness, she's amazing. But things happen. And sometimes I got a big issue with placing myself in someone else's eyes or trying to make them see it the way I see it. Or be like, okay, um, I wouldn't do this, and that. So I would expect you not to do this, and that. But at the same time, man, people are going to fall short. People will sometimes fail the expectations. Sometimes people will let you down. Sometimes they'll uplift you. Sometimes they'll let you down. You can't put too much faith in people. But what you can do is put faith in God and hope that, whatever you got going on, pray for whatever you got going on. Even if you don't believe, because sometimes somebody's praying for you. Even if you don't believe, man, let's just think about it. Where do you want to be in life? Because even if you don't believe, it's a lifestyle thing. Even if I didn't believe in God, I would still want to live a good life. I would want to be a respectful young man, someone that people honor. Because, man, the craziest thing I dislike the most, I meet these girls' parents. I meet these people's parents, man. And comparing them to their daughters, it's like, I'm the type of dude, which it's happened to me multiple times. I'm the type of dude that, the parent will be like, "Oh my goodness, she's such a respectful young man," da, 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 da. And they'll try to hook us up. I've had parents try to hook me up with their daughters before. And then I I engage with the daughter and she's like completely off of it. Like she could go to church and all, and she's like, "Oh, oh no, I don't. I don't do. I like doing this, and that. You know, I don't post these pictures for other people. I just post for myself. But it's like thirst trap pictures, and it's like, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. If you're interactive with social media, you know what I'm saying, because it's all around though. It's all, man, dude. It's like it's broadcasted. It's broadcasted. These everything wrong with this world is broadcasted, and this world will feed you everything to your liking, to your pleasure, to your desires. It will feed you everything, advertisements, whatever. And man, you gotta resist. That's why I thought, man, when I said, "Oh, I'm trying," that I was so different. I wasn't. if I'm not moving the way I say, if I'm not moving in the way I'm telling you I'm supposed to be moving, then what does it matter? It falls on deaf ears. Who's gonna listen to it? It's like the boy who cried wolf. I can't call myself a church. I can't call myself a holy child of God. I'm out here drinking, smoking, and having unprotected, what. I can't be doing that type of stuff, man. You and if you That's why I'm a hypocrite. I'm a hypocrite. That's what I meant to say. I'm a hypocrite. Not in that aspect, but thinking that I'm different from those who just indulge it without a care in the world, thinking I'm different. Really, I'm not. It's just a different excuse. That's all it is. It's just a different excuse. There's nothing really different about it. It's just a different excuse. And that's what we got to break out of. My apologies. My allergies. We got to break out the mode of thinking that just because we have an excuse makes it. We got to stop thinking that an excuse is acceptable. Because an excuse only going to get you so far. If you want to be somewhere in life, or if you want to follow the walk with God or whatever you got going on, you got to move. That's not sitting there and saying, oh, I'm trying. Oh, I'm trying. Taking this little bag. Oh, I'm trying. This is me praying. This is me praying, but I'm not moving. No way. Oh, I'm trying. God, I'm trying. Thank you for this meal, God. God, please give me a car. God, please give me this. It's falling on deaf ears, man. And especially those who like constantly indulge in whatever they got going on. We gotta fight that, man. We gotta fight that. And this world ain't gonna be easy, man. That's why I love the person I'm talking to right now. Because even with the rough patch, she can still sit up here and say, it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna be life, and it's gonna be hard, and sometimes you're gonna have to cut people off, people that you love, people that you care about, and things like that. And one thing I do want to say, real love comes after the problems. Real love isn't in the honeymoon phase. Real love comes after you see the flaws, the issues, and you say, I forgive you. Don't forget, but I forgive you. And I'm hoping we can move forward. Or sometimes real love is saying, I see you going down the path. I can't walk that with you. I love you, but I gotta step back. Because sometimes the best form of love is loving yourself. And sometimes that's the only thing you got. But I appreciate whoever listening. I hope it gave some type of insight, gave some type of help. Because, man, it's like, I'm tired of trying, bro. I'm so sick and tired of trying. I'm so sick and tired of trying. But with that being said, I'm going to actually have to move. Can't say I'm tired of trying and I don't move. I'm going to have to move eventually. But thank you for watching, whoever's watching, and I hope it gave y'all a little bit of, a little something that you want. Or if you got any type of input, throw it in the comments, man. I do appreciate whatever y'all got going on. I do like posting video games or whatever. I like doing whatever, man. I really just, my dreams has always been to become a YouTuber. I procrastinate a lot. Like I said, I got to move on what I say. If I want something, I gotta pursue it. Deuce.